Hi folks, this is Vicki from patternprincess.com. Today I wanted to show you how to work this beautiful pattern for the Silver Bells Crochet Shawl wrap. This is made from 2 rows of double crochet, and then we have the double crochet here with a chain 1 double crochet. But if you take, this is the back side. If you take a look at this side, notice the beautiful texture that's achieved because we're doing a back loop double crochet on one of the rows, but very beautiful yarn. This here is made just from 1 skein of yarn, and it's called Shawl in a Ball. And this color here is opal. Now you were probably going to say, well, this skein of yarn is not what made this. It is, because if you take a look at the inside of this yarn, you will see multiple layers of yarn in various colors. So you just continue to use this whole shawl once you get started until you come to the end of it, and you will have a lovely shawlette made. This here is actually an asymmetrical triangle shawl, and at the widest point from, where your last row ends will be your widest part. It's about 34 inches wide, and it's about 57 inches long. The shawl actually starts smaller, and you continue to get bigger and bigger as you move along. This side here stays the same, and then you have one side where you increase on. So, of course, this is the back side I just showed you again. Sorry about that. Here's the front side. Here's the side that you increase, and here's the side that just stays straight as you work. It's a number of 6 rows, and then once you get the first 6 rows, you repeat rows 3 through 6. So let's get going. In this shawl skein here, it's 481 yards. So again, this is Lion Brand Shawl in a Ball. 1 skein of yarn makes this shawl, and I am using a G size hook. So, and what I'm going to do for you today is the first 6 rows, and remember the first 6 rows are your foundational row, and then you just repeat rows 3 through 6. Now the yarn says that it's a size that it's a a 4, which is like a medium yarn, but this is actually a very nice thin light yarn, which really creates a nice and light and airy shawl look. So I leave quite a long tail when I start because it's very nice for weaving in your ends. And what's nice on this part is you only have 2 ends to weave in, the beginning end and the ending yarn. So that makes it nice. So you get your slip knot on your hook. That happens to be how I do mine. And then we'll get going. So row 1 is very simple. We're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yarn over, and we're going to go back to that 4th chain from the hook, the very first chain, and we are going to do, right here, we got the double crochet, we're going to do a double crochet right here, okay? And here we go, double crochet. And that first row is actually already done. So now after the end of every row, we're going to turn it. So I'm going to turn it. So row 2 is a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That first chain 4 counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. All right. So we're going to skip this first chain space, and in the 3rd stitch of that initial chain 4, so we're going to skip this. So we're going to be right over here. We're going to insert our hook. I've already yarned over. We're going to insert our hook. And we're in here, we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, and then right back in that same stitch, do another double crochet. And then row 2 is complete. So we're going to turn after row 2. And now, okay, so for row 3, I had a little interruption. We had people come to the door. We're going to do, I gotta look here again, chain 2, 1, 2, and then 2 double crochet in the same spot. So here's 1, and then here's 2. All right, so we're going to yarn over, and then we're going to do a double crochet in every single chain space and every single double crochet on the top of every single double crochet stitch. So here we go. What I find with this delicate yarn, I put my finger behind this chain stitch, and then I'm able, if you can see that little hole, then I'm able to put my crochet hook through there better. I find if I do that, it works a lot easier. Otherwise, I really struggle getting my hook through that spot. So, and remember that last chain stitches here, it was 4 chain stitches. So we had a double crochet plus a chain 1 and double crochet in that previous row. So this is a chain stitch here, and then this would be the last double crochet stitch. So you have to remember how many stitches on this first row, and then it'll become easier when you go along. So we should have, in this first time you do row 3 here, should have 7 double crochets. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've done that one right. So when you repeat, that's going to be one of the first rows that you repeat. So what we're going to do is row 4 is chain 2. This one here does not count as any stitch in this one, but we're going to yarn over and we're going to back loop double crochet in each stitch. So just the back loop, starting with that very first stitch. Now we're going to do a back loop double crochet, and that gives us a nice little texture in the front that I talked about before. So I really like that look to it. And of course you have so many different things going on for texture. You've got a little bit of open weave, you have the regular double crochet, we've done this back loop double crochet, and hang on, my yarn is tangling a smidge. And of course, having this sparkly yarn here too. I know that my daughter just loves the sparkly yarn. She thinks that that's just the best. And so here we go, and the last stitch coming up right here. Come on. Okay, I'm having a hard time getting into it. Here we go. And we have the back loop all the way across. All right, so in the last stitch, we've done that first double crochet. We're going to do 2 more in that stitch right there. So 2 more double crochet, because on this side now is our increasing side. So all the time, any kind of increases are going to be done on that side, but we're going to turn it. Now we have row 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to go on to 5. Now 5 is a chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember on this one here, it counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. But we're going to yarn over, and I'm going to get some more yarn here, yarn over, and then in this same spot, in the same stitch right here, we're going to do a double crochet, because that actually increases that row again. Then yarn over, gosh darn, hang on. You know, why is it every time I do this and show you folks, my yarn will start catching, and it drives me crazy. I'm trying to show you how to do this. So I did my chain 1, so we're going to skip 1. In the next one, we're going to double crochet. So chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. And we're going to do this all the way across to the end. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. And remember that very first part that we did? It actually had the 2 stitches, and we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip that one, and we're the one top of the stitch, and we're going to get that very last stitch. So here we go. We have row 5 is all done. And so here's 6. 6 is going to be chain 4, hold tight, which is going to be a double crochet and a chain 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over. Now we are going to skip this first space, and so it's nice about it is you're going to skip each chain space. So really in the very top of each double crochet, you're going to do a double crochet. So chain 1 and double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet in the top of the other, chain 1, double crochet, there we go, chain 1 and double crochet, and chain 1 and a double crochet. Now remember, we got to skip that chain stitch, so it's really in the 3rd stitch of that first chain 4. And the first 6 rows are done. Now we would turn it and we would start with row 3 again and then start all over. So from row 3 to 6, now you would continue to repeat and repeat and repeat until your yarn is all used up and you have yourself a beautiful shawl. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you take a little bit of time and get a skein of yarn of your own and make a beautiful shawl for yourself, or you give one for somebody as a gift. This one here that I have right here is going to be giving to one of my nieces, my sister, or my daughter. Today I'm going to bring them with us. We're all going to stay in a hotel and get together, and I have 5 shawls, and I'm going to let them all pick one and have one of their own. So we'll love to see what they all end up picking for each other. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.